Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Canadian Football Central, CFL content for the fans, by the fans. And we are finally getting to the CFL Awards.
Off-season.
Which, we're in the off-season now. It's funny, we were originally going to do the awards before the Grey Cup, but it was so one after the other, and we had, it was important.
No comment.
It was important that we had got all the Grey Cup content in there, and then we would cover it afterwards. But we're following through on that promise and getting this video out. And I will say, it is nice as a Bomber fan to talk about the CFL Awards, because talking about the Grey Cup isn't exactly great, but the awards went not bad for us. And
you had one person win 2 awards.
Yes, we did.
And I know you're going to say, well, Rick, you guys didn't have anyone win an award this year.
Yeah, no, you guys got close on a few, but not quite.
I mean, Bo did go up on stage.
What did he go up on stage for again?
Do you not remember when they were doing the?
I didn't see the whole thing.
Oh, you did or you didn't?
I did not see the thing in its entirety. I just saw bits of it.
So
you saw me.
There was a joke. I don't know if there was a joke or anything, but I guess they went to go call the most outstanding player, and Bo went up on stage to go accept the award, and Kate's like, "Bo, you didn't win the award."
Jesus Christ.
And then I guess there was a big joke about it and everything. And he's like, oh, I thought he did. She's like, no, he didn't. And then he just walks off stage.
Yeah. No. Jeez. But do you want to get right into it then?
Sure. Where do you want to start?
We'll end with MOP. But we'll start. But before we start, make sure you like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're listening to this on Spotify, make sure you give us 5 stars. We would really, really appreciate it. And if you're subscribed on YouTube, hit the notification bell. Helps out the channel a ton. Sorry, I had to get the shameless plug out of the way, Rick. Are you ready to go?
That's okay. I'm ready to go.
We're going to start with the most outstanding offensive lineman, which was the first award given out. And the winner is Ryan Hunter of the Toronto Argonauts. Now, I believe it was Trevor Reed who was also nominated from Saskatchewan. I believe that was
it was Furlander.
Furlander, yeah, that's who it was. I knew it was from Saskatchewan. I couldn't remember which one of them it was, but Ryan Hunter with the victory there. This will be his, I believe, his first most outstanding offensive lineman award. Now, if I'm just looking here, just going to get his stats pulled up.
Sir, you can't pull up any stats for
no, but just
linemen.
I guess his Wikipedia page. Essentially, gets his first offensive lineman award in the CFL, 29 years of age, is a Canadian, born in North Bay, Ontario. 6'3", 316 pounds. Sounds like an offensive lineman. And his career history has actually been in the NFL for the past bit, but now he's back down in the CFL. Was with the Kansas City Chiefs between 2018 and 2019. Played with the LA Chargers from 2020 to 2022. And then this year, and then from 2022 to the present day, has been with the Toronto Argonauts. I imagine they try to keep him. And overall, he has had a very, very decorated career at just 29 years old. He is a Super Bowl champion, 2-time Grey Cup champion, CFL's most outstanding lineman now in 2024, and he is a 2-time CFL All-Star and a 2-time CFL East All-Star in both last year and this year, respectively. And so he is just lot of accolades, a lot of accolades for him. And so he has done very, very well for himself, and he will continue that with the Argos, as I imagine they hold onto him. Is there anything else to talk about with him? Because with offensive linemen, a lot of the stuff is really, really judged for a unit as a whole. So it's kind of hard to, I guess, expand on that. Shall we go to the next one, Rick?
Sure.
And now we would then go to the most outstanding defensive player, which would go to Roland Milligan Jr. of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. A lot of people in Saskatchewan were really, really hoping for him to be the nominee for the West for MOP, but of course that would go to Brady Oliveira. And so Milligan Jr. wins this against, was it Therese Beverette?
Yes.
That he was against of the Montreal Alouettes. And so if we, can you pull up Milligan's stats here? And so we can...
for the season?
Yep.
Milligan's stat for the season. Let's go Saskatchewan and defense. This said Saskatchewan, not all players. So Milligan had 71 defensive tackles, 20 special teams, 2 tackles for loss, 8 interceptions, for a total of 141 yards. And that was pretty much it.
Yeah, and that is
16 games.
In 16 games. He is 30 years old, born in Lake Wales, Florida, 5 feet 10 inches tall. So obviously it goes undrafted in 2016 after 3 years with 3 different colleges. In his career history, he played for the Dallas Cowboys in 2016 and then with the Detroit Lions in 2017-2018, with the Indianapolis Colts from 2018 to 2020. Then for 2021, went to the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and he's been there since. So a bit of a career in the NFL, coming down to the CFL, very similar to Ryan Hunter in that sense, except no Super Bowl for him. And this year would be his first year he got any sort of awards or highlights in his career, as he would get the most outstanding defensive player, as we were discussing here. And this year he would be a CFL and CFL West All-Star. So congratulations to Roland Milligan Jr. I don't think this one was a question. I think Milligan Jr. was definitely going to win this. I think the question that a lot of people had was whether he would be the West nominee for MOP, but we are not at that. Is there anything else to discuss in regards to that? And brought up his stats. Do you think that this was the right decision? I think it was.
Yeah, I wasn't.
I do want to have a conversation if there is one you ever think that they made the wrong decision. And I know there's one or two that you might be thinking about, Rick. So shall we get to that?
We shall.
And the next one would be most outstanding special teams player. This would go to Janarian Grant of the Toronto Argonauts. And who is he against here? I'm trying to remember.
Shaun White. And
do you think
this is the one where you thought that it should have been
Sergio Castillo nominated instead of Shaun White?
Yeah.
Yep. I stand by that. And I know playoffs isn't relevant to this award. However, I'm going to say, if you look at the playoff performance of those two, I think it speaks for itself. And so... But anyways, I think we both had Grant winning this over Shaun White. Is that right?
Yes.
As Janarian Grant has been an incredible player here for the Argos. Can you bring up his stats for this year, and then I'll bring up his other information.
Grant?
Yes, Janarian Grant.
Okay. What are we doing? Are we doing receiving, or are we doing kick and punt returns?
We'll say just special teams, because this is his award for special teams. Yep.
Janarian Grant. 67 punt returns for 989 yards, average 14.8, 3 touchdowns. For kickoff returns, he had 1,000 yards, average of 24.4, and 1 touchdown.
Yeah. And so that would be his stats for this year. If we're looking at his career history, being a little bit all over the place. So he is 31 years old. He's from Trilby, I believe that's the name of it, Florida in the States. He's 5 feet 10 inches tall, 173 pounds. Again, 31 years old. And he would go undrafted in 2018. and he went to Rutgers for college. And then his career history would actually professionally would start in the NFL as well with the Baltimore Ravens in 2018. However, then would go to the CFL. He would start with the Hamilton Ticats in 2019, and then going to the Bombers later in that year, and would stick with the Bombers from 2019 to 2023, and and then he would then go to the Argos for 2024, which it will be seen whether he stays or whether he goes.
It's funny because I don't even remember Janarian Grant playing for the Ticats.
It's possible at the time it was just not fully, I guess, realized his talent, as that's sometimes the situation that happens with some guys, is they go one place, nothing really happen, not much really happens, and then they go somewhere else and they just blow up and they get significantly better.
I mean, if you think about it, look at Brennan Adams. He was with us for, a day? And then they traded him again?
I had no idea he was with the Ticats.
Yeah, no, he was... what did we... Adams traded... Yeah, so we got him. Let me just pull this up because I know. So on February 2nd, Adams was traded to us from the Stampeders for Charleston Hughes. And then he got released from us on June 21st of 2018.
Yep.
And he went to go sign with Montreal. Keep in mind, at this time we had I know we had Johnny Manziel, Dean Evans, and we had Mazzoli, I think. So I mean,
yeah,
someone had to go, but
makes sense. But we then get to his career highlights and awards. This is for Janarian Grant. He is a 3-time Grey Cup champion, twice with the Bombers in 2019, 2021. Then, of course, this year with the Toronto Argonauts, 2024. And this year he also he has the John Argo Special Teams Award, which I believe is that
the John? Which one is this?
The John Argo Special Teams Award. I believe that's just the alternate name for the most outstanding special teams player. I believe it's the same award. He is a 2-time CFL All-Star. It does kind of surprise me it's only 2-time. With 2022 and 2024, he is a CFL West All-Star in 2022 and a CFL East All-Star in 2024. And he is a second-team All Big Ten from 2015, which I believe that's all. Yeah, that's college. And then in 2013, he was second-team All ACC, and that was in 2013. So that was again back when he was playing college down with Rutgers in the NCAA. And overall, that was kind of the path of his career. So congratulations to Janarian Grant. I think it was very much not surprising and very much well earned. Would we agree with that?
True.
Which then brings us to an interesting one, which is the most outstanding rookie. Now this would go to Nick Anderson of the Edmonton Elks, which for a while I had not really paid much attention to him, besides just kind of hearing his name here and there when reading out some defensive stats throughout the year, without fully realizing just how good this guy was. And then the awards come along, and I see him get nominated, and of course I think about Ontario Wilson and whatnot, and being very impressed with him. But then I read this guy's stats, and then I was like, I can kind of see why he got it instead of Wilson. And so, can you actually read out those stats for Nick Anderson?
Yep, just give me 1 second.
As I'll read out what I got over here on my side. We're talking about a linebacker here from the Edmonton Elks. He is 24 years old, so he is actually about
Keep in mind,
4 months younger than my brother.
Keep in mind, the Elks were not the greatest team ever.
Yeah, that's another thing to keep in mind is that he wasn't exactly getting much help.
He had 111 defensive tackles, tied with Niles Morgan, his teammate. He had 5 special teams, 3 tackles for loss, 3 quarterback sacks, 1 interception for 6 yards, and 2 forced fumbles.
Yep. Very good. And he was leading the league in tackles, I believe, right?
He was tied for the lead in tackles.
Like, are you talking tackles or defensive tackles?
You're talking like tackles altogether?
All totaled up.
Yes, he did. He did lead the league in total tackles.
Yeah. But then he tied for. And again, this isn't just rookies. This is all players in the league. So seriously impressive stat here for Nick Anderson. Again, 24 years old, from Vicksburg, Mississippi, the United States. He's 5'11", 242 pounds. And he went to college in Jones in 2018, then Tulane from 2019 to 2022. Goes undrafted in 2023. Spends a little bit of time on the practice squad of the New Orleans Saints before going to the Edmonton Elks in 2024. He was with the Saints 2023. And then his career highlights and awards, pretty much everything that he got all this year with the exception of one college award, as he's CFL Most Outstanding Rookie for 2024. He is a CFL All-Star from 2024, as well as West All-Star, obviously. And then he is second team All-ACC in 2022, back in his college days, just a few short years ago. So this is a guy that I think will have a lot of longevity in this league. And the only reason that he may not have longevity in this league is if the NFL is ever looking for another linebacker. This guy has done seriously well. And it's a little bit unfortunate for a few other players, as there were some really good candidates for Most Outstanding Rookie this year. Whether it was Ontario Wilson, the other receiver, one of the 2 receiver candidates out west, who Nick Anderson obviously won the nomination over, and then out east, Shamar Bridges of your Hamilton Tiger Cats, Rick. So, what is kind of your opinion on Anderson winning this over Bridges? Because I know obviously you're a big fan of Bridges, and I can't blame you.
So, I will put it this way. Had Shamar Bridges not gotten injured, you could have honestly made a case for him winning Rookie of the Year.
That's
because he would have had over 1,000 yards. And I just want to look something up because I don't. See, that's
the thing. The fact that Nick Anderson was playing on a team that didn't give him much help, I don't think really makes a huge difference for his case. As I mean, neither was Shamar Bridges. You know what I mean?
But see, I wish you could do it. Oh, ad filter. This is what I'm looking for. It doesn't give me what I want. The filter. Because I wanted to see like rookie stats for like receiving. Because if you think about it, the only one that had more yards over him was Polk, and he didn't even get nominated.
Yeah.
Bridges was less than 100 yards less. And, I mean, he only had 1 touchdown less, but he had a lot more targets than what Polk had.
Yeah, no, that's true. But all in all, I think that's probably everything that we got for Most Outstanding Rookie of the Year, which will then move us on to the next one, which is Coach of the Year. This would go to Jason Moss of the Montreal Alouettes, him beating Corey Mace of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, which...
So here's where I get with this. People are going to say, well, Saskatchewan didn't make the playoffs the last so many years.
Yeah. Those
But
3 years, I believe.
how can you nominate a coach where they have, what was it, like 5 or 6 straight losses in a row? 7 straight losses in a row, and he still get coach of the year. Whereas, and I'm not trying to be a homer about this, when Winnipeg started 0-4, and they made the Grey Cup. They didn't win, but they still made the Grey Cup.
Yeah. Yeah,
I know everyone's going to say, well, that's what the coaches nominated were for last year. Well, it is what it is.
And that's the thing, is that I don't think that is the biggest thing. I think the fact was that the Alouettes started kind of a very, very, very similar to the last year's, the year before that's Toronto Argonauts, where they went that 16-2 record. The Alouettes, for a while, were poised for something very, very similar. They made the playoffs long before anyone else, and they had clinched the East Final before, like, I don't even know. There might have been one team that had clinched out of the West, maybe, when the Alouettes clinched the East Final specifically.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things where they clinched so far ahead of everyone else. And Jason Moss kept it together. And credit to him, again, it was one of those things where he was getting a lot of production out of a lot of different people. Davis Alexander goes in, the team keeps going. The wheels keep turning. The engine does not stop. Whether it's Rambo having a great game, whether it's whoever it was out of that receiving core, it really did not matter. At least one of them was going to have a truly outstanding game. Whether Austin Mack, it was him when he came in later in the year, although it really wasn't as much him. Whether it was Tyson Philpott when he started, they were very much spreading around the that responsibility. And so Jason Moss kind of showed that he was able to get so much out of no matter who exactly he was dealing with, no matter who Cody Fajardo or Davis Alexander was targeting for the receiving core for that given night. Now, with Corey Mace, I think the fact that that he did take a organization that had been out of the playoffs for a few years and bring him back into the playoffs, even with the 7-game losing streak. They did have a really, really strong streak to start the season. They did very, very well near the end and nearly clinched the West Final. But if it wasn't for a little bit of Mother Nature working against them,
the wind.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm curious.
But that's why Corey Mace gets nominated here, and it's important to realize that is worth something.
I'm curious to see. I just want to go off topic for 1 second. Where is that going to be on for the CFL Plays of the Year?
Oh, you're talking the wind?
Yeah, like that ending. Where the heck is that going to be on the CFL Plays of the Year?
It's got to be at least top 15.
Such a crazy. I just thought that was funny.
It's such a crazy situation, and so yeah, your coach of the year, Jason Moss, which then brings us to the last two. We're starting off with most outstanding Canadian. This would be Brady Oliveira, running back of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers.
And I'm pretty sure this was against Berglund from Montreal.
Yeah, it was one of those things.
Like, it wasn't even close.
This was very much, you did not need to watch the awards to know who was going to be your most outstanding Canadian. Now, if you could, can you read out some of his stats?
Which player?
Oliveira.
Oh, okay. He had. Okay, I'm gonna do this both parts. Rushing wise, he had 239 carries, 1,353 yards, 3 touchdowns, 5.7 average, 30 was his longest. If you go into receiving, he had 57 for 71 targets, 476 yards, 420 yak yards, 1 touchdown, average of 8.4, and 33 was his longest.
There we go. And then if we're looking kind of just at his more personal stats, 27 years old, plays for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He's from Winnipeg, went to Oak Park High School in Winnipeg. Again, only 27 years old, still very, very young. Went to college at North Dakota, 5 feet 10 inches tall, 225 pounds. He is a two-time Grey Cup champion in 2019 and 2021 with the Bombers. CFL Most Outstanding Player winner for this year. And he is the two-time, hold on a second. He is a two-time Jeff Nicklin Memorial Trophy winner in 2023 and 2024. Can you remember what the what this award is for?
Which one?
Jeff Nicklin Memorial Trophy.
Who does it say who won it?
It said that he won it this year and last year. Let's see. Jeff Nicklin Memorial is a trophy awarded to the Canadian Football League West Division's most outstanding. Oh, so it's if you win the West nominee, this is the award that you get. Oh, okay. That makes a bit more sense. He is the two-time CFL Most Outstanding Canadian last year and this year. He is a two-time CFL rushing yards leader last year and this year. And he is a CFL rushing touchdowns co-leader from last year. And then if we go back to look at his college days, he is a Hero Sports Sophomore All-American in 2016 and third team All Big Sky Conference in 2016 as well. He is a CFL All-Star and a CFL West All-Star in 2023 and 2024, respectively. And he actually did go through the CFL draft, unlike a lot of guys who come through undrafted. He was drafted in the second round. He was the 14th pick by the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in 2019.
And he saves puppies.
That's right. He rescues dogs all the time. How can you not love the man?
How can you forget about that?
Because the Wikipedia page doesn't put it on there, which really sucks.
It's not.
It's not like I don't know that. I just was reading off the Wikipedia article. They should put that in career highlights and awards. The puppy saver of the year. Brady Oliveira.
Oh, please.
Sorry. Or I should say, Brady Oliveira. Brady Oliveira, your most outstanding Canadian this year. And like I said, Rick, no dispute on this one, I don't think. Is that right?
No.
Now, if we want to talk about one that does have a dispute, though, that is the most outstanding player of the year award, which would also go to Brady Oliveira, beating out Bo Levi Mitchell of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. And I know Rick has a lot to say. Shoot.
This is going to be my dispute. If both teams were non-playoff teams, Bo wins it over Brady.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But because Winnipeg made the playoffs and Bo didn't, Brady won.
Now, I understand the argument from some in regards to that this is an award. This is not a playoff award, which I'm not saying you're making that argument. I know that's kind of a thing that's been brought up. I'm just saying I've heard this come out, that this is not a playoff award. No, it is not. However, did you get to the playoff? It is a regular season award, and the goal of the regular season is to make the playoffs.
Every person that voted basically said because Bo's team never got in the playoffs, they're not voting for Bo. End of story. So, brings back to my point. If Winnipeg and Hamilton did not make the playoffs, Brady would not have won.
Most likely. Most likely. I think that's a fair point to make.
Because, I mean, if you take a look here, quarterback throws 68.4%, 5,400 yards, 32 touchdowns, and yes, I know he had 18 interceptions, but how do you have that kind of season and not win MOP?
And the answer is when you're in a division of 4 teams and you're the odd one out.
Well, yeah, that too.
That is, Again, and don't even take that from me. I'm just saying, take that from the people who actually voted on this award. That was the.
Or you decide to keep an offensive or a defensive coordinator more than you let your defensive coordinator stay overwhelmed over his welcome, I should say.
Overstay his welcome? Is that what?
Thank you. Yes.
I was about to say Rick was looking for the word. He was searching.
I was looking for the words and couldn't get them out.
Damn, it is how it is in that regard. I just remember watching Rick's live stream on Ticats Network during this, and some people were kind of, oh, damn, I didn't want Brady to win. I wanted Bo to win. But then someone was very upset. Was very upset. And so this was one of those things. If you
think about it, if you think about it, anywhere you go on social media, non-Bomber fans, people were saying that Bo should have won. We're talking Rider fans, any Ticat fans you talk to.
I understand that argument. I understand that argument. However, I can do you one better.
Okay, so can I.
Do you want to know what I can do one better? Is that if we're going based off that, last year, I heard Argo fans saying that Brady should have won when Chad Kelly was their guy. And this is pre-scandal Chad Kelly. So his like reputation hadn't like sank to the bottom of the ocean to like never be found until, I don't know, maybe James Cameron wants to make another movie about it or whatever. And
so my whole point is that I'm going to bring up is you can blame whoever you want, but in the playoffs, Oliveira was not MOP Oliveira. You can blame coaches, whoever you want, play callers.
Well,
you have.
He could have been if he was on the
field. Hold on. Let me finish. You have a player that was named MOP. Fucking use him. If you're not gonna, if you're not gonna use
thank Buck Pierce. You can thank that.
Like, why have a good running back if you're not gonna? Because you can't use weather as an excuse. Because it was fucking inside.
No one's making that excuse.
I'm just saying you can't use that as an excuse. Did they fall behind? Yes, they did. Yeah. Did they continue to run?
One thing I will say is that he did put up. He actually, if you really think about it, he kind of did put up MOP numbers. Even though it seems like he didn't, and let me allow me to elaborate a little bit, okay? The main thing, so obviously he gets his 1,353 rushing yards, but the big question is that when he rushes, what is he average? You know what I mean? And so that would tell you exactly if it was his performance or if it was him not getting played enough. Because he should have the same average roughly, even if he doesn't get the same opportunity. Make sense? Would you say that makes sense?
Because hold on.
If we in the playoffs, so he gets 5.7 yards on average. This is his MOP numbers that he won with. Okay, last year he got 5.9 in the game against Saskatchewan West Final. Average 6 yards per rush, 119 yards. So I would say in the playoff game one, he meets that. Yeah. If we look at the second game against Toronto, in of course the Grey Cup, he averaged 7.6. So his numbers in the postseason in terms of average yards were actually better than it was, which really all that does is just put a big red circle on the spot of offensive coordinator and not using this motherfucker more. Because think about it, he had the numbers. He did. He was on pace to get it.
What was it for?
And so
for this one,
it was just one of those. It's a crazy thing. Just a crazy thing.
Come on, why aren't you coming up? Like, I mean, he had 20 carries. Are you talking
the postseason?
The West
total?
Final. Like, why couldn't he just have friggin' 20 plus carries in the Grey Cup?
Because Buck Pierce decided to change the playbook. Instead of doing the thing that worked for us, why would we do that? That's the smart thing to do. We have to do the dumb thing.
But here's my
lose
thing
it for a third straight year.
You guys weren't down by a lot until the fourth quarter.
Yep. And then our quarterback has his hand get injured. And instead of doing the logical thing of putting in a backup or try running the ball a lot more, no, we can't do that. That makes too much sense.
But at the same time,
do you understand my argument though? That his playoff numbers arguably are very much a mirror of his regular season numbers.
I will put it this way. You can blame the OC all you want, but at the end of the day,
I mean, I'm blaming the OC, and it's not just me blaming him. It's because he was wrong. It's just his fault.
But at the same time, does Mike O'Shea not have the final say?
Mike O'Shea does take a little bit here. He does. I love Mike O'Shea, and the Bombers should absolutely. So I mean, I'm just saying Mike O'Shea.
Can't put you. I'm just saying, like, Mike O'Shea could have said, okay, like, let's run the ball more.
I'm not. It's the buck does stop with him. It does, and so I'm not saying that Mike O'Shea shouldn't receive even a little bit of pressure in that regard. Fair enough, he should. I actually think if you want to talk about decisions where he should receive more pressure, I don't think the running the ball thing is more his pressure. I think that's more Buck Pierce's. I think him choosing to play Caleros after seeing Caleros get injured, I think you can put that one a bit more on him, as that won't really go to the OC as much as the head coach. And it's one of those things where it's tough, because I'm not going to lie, I love Mike O'Shea, and I
liar.
No, I do. And it's also like kind of somewhat difficult because we like, I really like Mike O'Shea, and I want him to stay in Winnipeg until his career is done. And I think he's the guy to get us there, to get us to the Grey Cup, even with the mistake here and there that he's made. Because I think his judgment, all in all, has always been, for the most part, really, really damn good. And Buck Pierce's has been pretty good, but I think O'Shea has a lot stronger of a resume than Buck Pierce does. Not to say Buck Pierce has nothing. He has something, but O'Shea definitely has a lot of strength there. And so, all in all, though, this wasn't a video just to talk about Grey Cup. It was just me. I was just bringing up those two games to showcase that his average yardage was actually higher in the postseason than it was throughout the regular season. So in terms of did he get MOP numbers, he absolutely did, no question. And he probably would have gotten a lot more if he was utilized more, but that was not up to Brady. So Brady Oliveira, your most outstanding player of the year for 2024. And is there anything else that we got here, Rick? I think that's pretty much it.
Not really.
So I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe if you have not already. We got some special announcements as we will. I'm hoping to have a promotional video out soon, but I'm actually just going to say it on here, which is that on Monday we will be interviewing wide receiver of the BC Lions, Aiden Eberhardt. We will have him on the show, so want your guys' questions for Aiden down below or on our Instagram or on our Twitter, wherever it is. Figure out a way to message us, and we'll have him on there. And then we'll be posting it the following day, next Tuesday on the 26th.
Carter, it is a miracle.
What is a miracle?
We finally have Nolan from Texas.
Yeah, that's right. It seems like almost everyone we have on is from Texas.
He is from Colorado.
There we go. Got a guy from Colorado. Interesting stuff. But yeah, make sure you guys, if you have any questions for him, put that in the comment section down below or any of our socials, and support all that wonderful stuff. And like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. 5 stars on Spotify. And we will see you guys next time. Wait, no. Peace, love, and positivity. And we will see you guys next time.